I've been, directing for 25 years. How come no one told me that reality shows would be the most fun thing to direct?
Welcome to ContentAsia On Air. I'm Janine Stein. My guest today is Quark Henares, an award-winning filmmaker who wrote and directed features such as Where's the Lie, My Candidate, Rock and Roll, and Keika, which Quentin Tarantino called a hell of a lot of fun. He also created the cult TV series Rakista for free TV network TV5 and is currently involved in the third season of Home Run Singapore. As head of Globe Studios, he executive produced films such as Dead Kids, Fangirl, Leonore Will Never Die. He was also head of originals in the Philippines for Amazon Studios. Quark, welcome to ContentAsia On Air.
Yay, it's so nice to be here.
Thank you
so
so
nice
much.
to be in the studio, giving me like some flashbacks.
And you were the one who recommended this, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
You're involved in film, TV, commercials, writing, producing, acting, music, podcasting, and you've just relocated from Singapore back to the Philippines.
Yes.
This time with a baby and all new responsibilities.
Yes.
So it just seems a lot, and you keep adding. I want to add a new thing, the newest thing you've added,
yes,
which is, I'll look at
breaking news.
I want to get it right, but it's Quezon City Screen Commission Industry Forum for Q Cinema. So we're going to talk about that right after you answer this question. What does a regular day in the life of Quark Henares look like?
I think, it's really, I think we might have to talk week, but I do right now because I'm back to kind of like some freelancing and, being part of this company and that company. Whereas, the past few years I've been just with Amazon or I've just been with Globe. I'm kind of getting used to it. And so maybe Wednesday is my Rein day, and then Thursday is my Lennon day. Lennon Group.
So let's start. So Rein Entertainment, you've just joined.
Yes.
Kind of not in place of, but in as a different direction that Rein's taking, because Lino Cayetano, the founder, has gone on to head up PTV, the public broadcast in the Philippines.
Yes.
And so you've joined the team to. I don't know if he's replaceable, as I said, and you're certainly not replaceable, but to help them develop. And then Lennon Group, and then Home Run, and now the Quezon City Commission.
Yes.
So just maybe just spend a few seconds talking about each one of those.
Okay, so Monday is the QCSC. So it's in line with it's part of Q Cinema.
And it's brand new, right?
No, it's been around for a while. So I think Q Cinema itself is almost 15 years old. And then the industry forum has been around maybe 5 to 7 years. But yeah, so I just joined. It's very exciting. It's like the industry days in SGIFF. We bring in experts from all around the world. A lot of them Filipino Americans, or a lot of our judges, and they kind of give master classes. They give talks. We also have this grant, and we work very closely with. This year is very exciting. We're working with the Directors Guild of the Philippine Islands, DGPI. So this is the 10th year of their grant, and then we're working with the Film Development Council of the Philippines, FDCP, and we're working with the Film Academy of the Philippines. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's like everybody is working together to give bigger grants, I guess, to filmmakers.
It sounds so natural, like, oh my God, we're working together, as if it was so unique. But your role in it is brand new. I mean, we're announcing it here. It's like from yesterday.
Yes, absolutely. No, I mean, I had to ask permission. Like, can I share this? I mean, I've been in a few meetings already planning this, but yes, this is very brand new.
Congratulations! It's fabulous.
Thank you.
When is the forum?
Oh, it's in October. So
it's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
So Monday is Q Day.
Yes.
Tuesday is
Tuesday work from home. Wednesday is Rein. So Rein Entertainment, of course, is a studio. We didn't when I joined, we none of us knew or expected that Lino would go on to head PTV4. In fact, it was very fast. Like, he was invited to speak in APOS, and then maybe 2 weeks later, he got the invitation to be the general manager of PTV4. And then we were like, should you talk about this in APOS? We're not sure because it's, we don't know when this is going to be signed. This is the Philippines. You don't know when anything's going to be official. And then maybe like a few weeks before APOS itself, like he was announced. So I think the APOS stock had to like pivot around that. And I was already there for maybe a month or so. But we did not expect that. So right now, Shugo Preiko, his co-founder, is the president and kind of like helping out. Because
she was also writer, director,
Yes,
creator of,
yeah.
of some really famous series.
Yeah, amazing.
And he's a great guy.
amazing,
Yeah.
guy. And very shy. So I'm the talkative one. And then he's the one with the vision. So it's really great. I've known those guys for more than 20 years. And I've been fans of them both. So
So Rain Day is Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, and then Thursday is Lennon Group. So Lennon Group is an ad agency, and it was founded by ex BBDO and publicists, geniuses, like legends. In like my partner is part of the It's More Fun in the Philippines. She's one of the head creatives of It's More Fun in the Philippines campaign. It's just really an amazing group, and I think when they formed Lennon Group, I mean Lennon as in John Lennon as in Imagine, it was really with the vision to kind of like help the world, and kind of be more social impact, be more public service. So when I was moving back, they told me about it, and it's like, I want to make the world better for my son. Can I join you guys? So Thursday is Lennon Group Day, and then Friday is, I guess, for the fun things like DJing. I have a DJ set later, by the way. I don't know if I told you.
No.
In Blue Jazz.
Okay.
My only free day.
So that's I mean, you've done a lot of music as well.
Yes.
So Friday's your DJ day, music, right? And weekends is
weekends. Well, all Konzi, all my son, and my wife and my son. So and I do try to spend like a lot of the days I work from home with them also, because it's so fast.
It's
just
fast.
growing up so quickly. So yeah.
And he's too cute.
He is.
He's too cute.
He is. We're like, my wife is like, should we make him act? Should we? Like, no, we're not doing that.
Okay, but you've time to change your mind. I mentioned in the intro, Where's the Lie, which won silver in the ContentAsia Awards last year.
Thanks,
so maybe
Janine.
we should kick off. I didn't I do nothing. I sit by and I persuade judges to please finish. So we've got this year's awards coming up at the end of August in Bangkok. But talk to me about Where's the Lie, and that was the last film you directed.
So Where's the Lie is the last film I directed. It was I remember doing post. I was already here in Singapore, working with the Amazon, and at nights I would give notes to the editors. But it's produced by Anima. So in maybe the 6 years I was with Anima / Globe Studios, everyone was telling me, maybe you should direct a film because you're running a studio, and when you're running a studio, you really don't have time to do that. So when I kind of like was about to leave, I'm like, okay, I think it's time to make the film.
Why did you choose that one?
It was actually, it's based on a Twitter thread. So I remember it was like 2 a.m. and I was just doing my nightly scroll through then Twitter, and there was a story, this Cebuana from this student, and she was trans from Cebu, was telling the story of how she fell in love with someone, and he said they would buy an apartment together and they would video chat all the time, and like he would ditch her. And then then the cousin would reach out, and the cousin would say, no, he just doesn't know how to show his love for you. Give him another chance. And then she decided to fly over to Manila. And then he had dinner with her, and then he broke up with her. And kind of like left her there on the street. And the cousin came to her rescue. And basically, a lot of these things happened until eventually she realized that it was a cousin all this time that she was talking to. And the cousin
so it's like
was
a giant scam.
But not for money or anything. I think they were just all having fun. There were like 4 or 5 of them. So one person was the voice, one person was the on-cam talent, one person was the texts. One person was the office phone. It's like 4 or 5 people scamming this poor girl. So but I what I loved about tongue in cheek quality by which she was telling her story. So I realized, okay, this could be like a dark comedy, and hence where it's
Well, the
life.
judges loved it. So
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
there was,
Yeah.
it was just really, really close. But yeah, congratulations on that.
Cheers.
I hope it's not I really hope it's not your last
I know.
film.
I hope it's not my last either.
Well, it's
so.
definitely not your last TV series because you're in Singapore this week shooting the 3rd season of property reality series, Home Run Singapore.
Yes.
It's part of a direct-to-consumer outreach by brands, in this case, Property Guru. Tell us about the project.
Yeah, sure. So I think it was just like over drinks at Como. I think the Korean like the marketing head of Property Guru said, "Can we have drinks?" Like, and I'm like, "Sure, man." Like, I thought it was just gonna be like some chit chat. He's like, I'm thinking of making a reality show." And I think both of us were so surprised at how fast it happened. I'm like, "Okay, let me get a team for you. Let's try and figure this out." And before knew it, we were already premiering in the projector. But it really, really happened so quickly, and thankfully, it's been successful enough that we're on our 3rd season, and it's just been getting bigger and bigger.
So you started off, I think it was like on YouTube and on Property Guru's site, and now it's on
MediaCorp.
MediaCorp, Channel 5, which
Mm.
is the English language national broadcaster.
Yes, so it's really kind of, and now, I mean, we have had so many guest stars. Before it was just like, hey, can you get your cousin to be the guest buyer this episode? I remember even the first episode, it was like a Property Guru employee who was the guest buyer. But now it's like Annette Lee, The Muttons, Tyler Ten,
Oh yeah, I love
Gene
him.
Danker. So it's like, wow, it's really getting super Cliff Tan. I don't know if I'm supposed to share that, but yeah, it's like
You're probably not, but you just did. So you're shooting now, you're wrapping it up now. Is this an ongoing thing? Season 3 implies there will be multiples.
hopefully, yeah, hopefully more, because season 3 so far has been such a great experience. I just tweeted the other day. I've been, directing for 25 years. How come no one told me that reality shows would be the most fun thing to direct?
I think you were mixing in the wrong circles.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, it's like this bonding all the
You
time.
might
between
have
the
been
crew.
mixing in the wrong circle.
I may have been.
Or your circle might not have been wide enough. Yeah, reality, it is really fun, but it's kind of seen as, we were talking about this, like film is seen as the royalty and the TV people in the cheap seats at the back.
Yeah.
And I'm told it's changing, but I never experienced that change. It is two really separate and unique communities with their own culture, with their own view, just their own vision. So it is interesting how you yourself manage to go between them. And then to DJ music. Wow. Okay. So your role at Rein, and I'm switching gears, your role at Rein, we'll talk about it more as more projects come, but what are you trying to do at Rein?
I think so Rein, the origin story of that is Lino came here for ATF, I think. And he's like, hey man, let's have dinner. It's always like dinner or drinks, right? And he's like, oh, I'm thinking of putting up an entity in Singapore. And, do you want to be part of that? And I'm like, have I got news for you? I'm moving back to the Philippines, but also I want to join you. I think at this age, honestly, it's like you really just want to work with people I mean, when you, I guess I'm 45 now, and what's in front of me is probably the same amount of time as what's behind me, and so you just want to work with people you really get along with and who collaborate well, right? And just especially in the Philippines, right? Like just decent people. So I was a big fan of Shugos. And again, Lino and I go way back. So it's like, hey, I know, and Lino was a public servant, and he was really good at his job.
He was a mayor of one of the cities, right?
And a congressman, yeah. So it was really nice to kind of like you just kind of build out that vision with him, because I think we were just talking, you just seen Salvage Land now on Netflix. Please watch it. So Rein has had kind of like an image or like a look or a feel, right? Like when you're Rein, it's action, it's like Bagman,
Also,
like
there's a lot of
Salvage
like
Land.
social conscience. There's a lot
Yes.
of righting wrongs.
Mm-mm.
I really admire that as well.
Yes. And so I think, just to kind of like shake things up. For example, we're also working with Raya Martin, who's like, a Cannes filmmaker, really, respected internationally. We're working with Anthony Buncho, who's massive in Indonesia, right?
He's
And
so great as well.
yeah. So it's kind of like to diversify, to make things a little more, shake things up basically, and give more genres for with different kinds of working.
I think what I'm hearing is that just broadening out, and what I'm hearing from the industry as well, the broader regional landscape. The Philippines looks like it's finally coming in from the fringes of global series production. I'm not saying it wasn't on people's radar before, but it almost seemed like a sideline behind Thailand, behind Indonesia, definitely behind Korea and Japan. What do you think the local industry needs to do to expand this?
That's actually like a real conundrum. I mean, honestly, I was looking at we both came from APOS. I was looking at the number of local content Indonesia and Thailand were watching, right? And it's much bigger than Philippines. And Philippines right now we're making around 40 films a year if we're lucky, but we used to make like 200. So we can't blame it on the fact that Filipinos are multilingual. According to Netflix, and according to that Netflix talk, right? Or well, Netflix, Disney, Amazon, and HBO, they were all saying, Philippines has the most massive appetite. Like I think we would spend time on screens like 8 hours versus the average just 5 hours and 30 minutes. And yeah, we're almost 9 hours on screens, and Filipinos voraciously eat up K-dramas, Hollywood, micro dramas, etc., etc. TikTok, of course, and social media. So I think there's a chance to kind of like come back to that, right? And I think the secret is really, well, number one, I think audiences are changing. If you look at the films that have done spectacularly in the past 3 years or 4 years, a lot of them are very intellectual. Sunshine, for example, directed by Antonetta Daune, is kind of like, deals with really heavy, deals with abortion and stuff that's taboo in the Philippines. And it was a hit. It was a massive hit. And then The Loved One by Irene Villamor, The Loved Ones, did really well. And it's a talkie. It's basically, so I think tastes are changing, and maybe the mainstream companies are not really catching up. And of course, there's the whole thing about ABS-CBN's franchise being taken away, right? Which really hurt everything. But I feel that we really, really need to protect the theatrical window. I think that's number one. And then number two, kind of like, catch up with the times. Make content that's smarter, actually. And not your usual telenovela slapping, and we were talking about that too, right? Like the
It's like
racy
the over
content.
emo.
Yeah.
It again, it looks like a lot of the Philippine success. The films are really successful overseas, but it's the expat community. So Lino has given talks that kind of turn this, expand that, because he said there's 10. I think he mentioned 10 million expat Filipinos all around the world, and using that as a base. So they've made Filipino content popular abroad. So that showed up on Netflix, it's showing up on YouTube. But he said use that as a base to tell a bigger story about Southeast Asia. So he talked about a Southeast Asia conversation. Where do you think the Philippines can plug into the rest of Southeast Asia? I mean, are there co-productions? Co-production's another huge thing. Are there co-productions they can do? Is there stuff you have in common that you can leverage? How do you build on this vision?
I think definitely there's really space for Southeast Asian collaborations. I mean, the one of the best examples of that actually just came out in theaters last week. It's a movie called The Furious. It was directed by a Japanese guy, but it stars Joel Taslim, who's Indonesian, and another Indonesian martial arts guy. It stars Phil Chai. The villain is Phil Chai. No, sorry, the villain is Asian American. I'm sorry. The big villain is Japanese American, and then you have Thai people playing Filipinos. Because you can hear Tagalog. I looked at the credits; it's all Thai actors.
So
it's
that's kind of crazy. It's good. Is this quite common in film? Because it seems to me, we were talking about the differences in film. It seems films can have 2, 3, 8. Vietnam had like 8 co-production partners. It seems like the film industry is very embracing because they're just much more practical about budget. Do you see this? Could this happen in TV?
I think yes, it definitely could happen in TV a lot. I know recently a big show that came out here, of course, was about a K drama or a K-pop person coming over, and we're doing, I think, some co-prods with Taiwanese companies. I'm actually going to a meeting later about with Singaporean producers about shooting in a film in the Philippines, but in an international school. So you have Thai
film or TV series.
This is a film.
Okay.
So it's.
I think the film industry is just so much further ahead, and maybe there are structural issues. Maybe it's because film gets a lot more government support. I think filmmakers are a lot more collaborative than TV people, and also TV is just long and hard.
Yes, that's true. That's really true. I mean, there were some. I remember the Carmen Su came over and from Malaysia, and then shot the long-running teleserye with Jericho Rosales, and that happens as well. But I do think film. I mean, IMDA, God bless their souls, is a big proponent of that, right? So like you mentioned, Vietnam and a lot of the stuff that Momo Films makes.
True, that Momo, right? That's right. She's amazing.
Yeah, Saan. Shout out Saan. You're awesome.
I think, there seems to be much more potential that is being realized. And then I hear off the record, behind the scenes, how difficult it is to talk to TV producers about how difficult it is to maintain this relationship over 10 episodes, even 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And at some point, someone wants to kill each other and they screech in about. Also, there's budget issues. There's real budget issues. There's the amount being spent on television in Singapore is so different from the Philippines, so different from Taiwan or Thailand. So I think there are issues there, but I'd like to see more.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, but we were talking about how different the cultures of film and TV were, right? But TV in different countries is also wildly different, right? Compared to film. And I think film is kind of more or less, and I guess because there's so much sharing of resources and collaboration. But TV, in the Philippines, it's not crazy to shoot 40 scenes a day.
So,
and
yes.
my Bianca acted, my wife acted in Auntie Lee's Deadly Delights here in MediaCorp, and I think she would shoot an episode would be 2 or 3 days, and they would bank it, and it came out maybe 6 or 7 months after she shot it. So whereas sometimes in the Philippines it's we're airing tomorrow.
So that is a different timeline and time scale. I think Europeans find that incredibly difficult coming to Asia to work or Asians find it difficult working with them. I think the more you do, the more familiar we'll become with it and the more there'll be. Switch slightly to the impact of streaming, because that's also led to changes in structure, approach around the region. And you were intimately involved from Amazon. How do you think this has impacted the Philippines? And is this good or is it bad?
I think it's definitely good. And I feel, I feel that there's a lot of adjusting and flexibility right now with how Netflix is treating series. I remember Replacing Chef Chico was more of the Netflix style, where it's premium and just a few episodes. And now they're kind of moving towards higher budget teleserie kind of programming. So what I'm hoping is, they're kind of adjusting the Philippine style of creating TV, but I hope that also they make production adjust to them. Like I'm going to a showrunner conference next at the end of the month, and Netflix is actually flying people in, and and that's good. I love that, and we tried to do the same thing when I was at Amazon, where we'd get showrunners to like the guy who was the showrunner of the Tom Clancy show. Oh my gosh, what's the name? Jack Ryan. The Jack Ryan. He would give talks, and we'd speak to development people from the US, and kind of like there's a lot of information sharing, because I think that's really really important, right? Especially as you move into the streaming era. So
Do you think Netflix has done an unbelievable amount, and no, they don't pay me, by the way, but they, I keep having to defend myself, but they have done an amazing amount to advance the industry. And of course, it's in their interest to have better talent, better skills, just more people who know more. I think these kinds of forums are really essential too, because the role of showrunner didn't really exist a while ago.
yeah, right.
Like the person who's just the champion.
Yeah.
So in overall, good thing, good impact. I think there've been, sorry, let me just interject here. There have been some negatives, like Amazon coming in full tilt and announcing all these things and then pulling right back. I mean, you were one of the victims of that. I think these are growing pains, so I don't blame them for it. It's just you want to do something, it doesn't work, you change your mind, you leave.
Yeah.
I think that does create some kind of cynicism and instability, but it's just what it is.
Yeah, no, I remember we were both at that talk in APOS, which is kind of like a real eye-opening talk, right? Because Min, right?
Yeah.
It was there, and people from Amazon, and the question I remember Vivek asked the question, what are your plans for Southeast Asia? And Min like, oh, we're gonna do this, like, and then everyone else is just like, oh, in Japan we're doing this, in India we're doing this, and I think Vivek asked the question again to kind of like, no, what are you guys doing for
really
Southeast Asia? And it was very clear that there was no Southeast Asia solid, at least there were no solid plans for now. And then I guess the thing that disappointed us also about the whole Prime thing, or Amazon MGM Studios thing as well, is that we weren't really given a chance to fail. The shows hadn't come out yet; they were still in post and everything. And Last One Laughing Philippines, actually, I think to this day is the highest performing show in Amazon in Prime Video in the region. So so it worked. Their bet worked, but we were all gone by the time.
It was kind of sad, but
such is.
There seems to be some change of heart. I mean, The Silent Noise is on Amazon Prime. We spoke to Onat Diaz, who will be on this podcast as well. And that's a really, really great series. It's not, I stopped looking at it as a Philippine series after about 10 seconds and started looking and just absorbed it as a really good mystery with amazing actors and a great story.
Which series is this? Sorry,
The Silent Noise. It's on Amazon Prime. So, and it's from ABS. So I think they're acquiring. They're testing the market. I hope it does well, and that's a global release. Commissioned. I don't know where else it was, but anyway, ABS CBN International. Okay, next question. What do you think the Philippine superpower is? The creative superpower?
Actually, well, the flexibility, the ability to be, they call it cowboy in Filipino, which is cowboy, right? Like, it's like definitely to be able to work under any sort of circumstance, really have that creativity flourish, and be able to do that with big budgets or like super indie budgets. And I think that's something that all Filipino creatives are able to do, just because of the reality of the industry. And I think also I do believe the bilingual aspect. The fact that all Filipinos are able to speak English um, is a strength when you're talking, especially to producers abroad, and things kind of like move faster. Notes are there's a awareness of each other's cultures that is easier to navigate. Um, yeah, and I think inherently Filipinos are just so creative. There's a story. Zed loves telling the story that the DJ that whenever he plays in the Philippines, it's like the whole crowd sings in tune, and it's so weird to him. And it's the
I think
only
that,
country, and I think Olivia Rodrigo said that as well. So, yeah, music,
yeah, that whole musical
storytelling.
thing, it's almost a cliche by now. Like if you're in the Philippines, people will sing to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so would you? It's flexibility, the ability to communicate, and also the Philippines is filled with stories that just, I guess, haven't been told yet.
Absolutely.
I recently talked to Indra Suharjono from IE Entertainment about the threat index. She focused on Thailand. So if we did one for the Philippines, what would be your top 3 threats, I guess, to the local production industry?
Government is definitely one. Oh my God, why am I saying these things? No. I mean,
I'm not defending them, but they seem to be better.
no, and I mean, just I'm not saying the current government. And in fact, to be fair, the current government is very supportive of media. They did such a big push for Magellan, for example, for the Oscars. They're very generous about giving grants. I think the changes, the way when government changes, you don't know what's gonna happen next. And again, Duterte might come in again, and like Duterte took ABS-CBN away, and that was irreparable damage. Honestly, it's been 6 years, and still, like, even GMA wasn't able to fill in that void that ABS-CBN left. And according to studies, most people just went to YouTube, and which is not a Filipino company, right? So, yeah, that's definitely that's a threat. And of course, again, like entertainment tax. I think if you've put out a film in theaters, you're taxed pretty much 3 times. There's amusement tax, there's withholding tax, etc., etc. What other threats are there? I think just the Hollywood behemoth. Has always kind of been a threat. And I think with when Marvel came around, the highest grossing films of all time in the Philippines are like number 1, Endgame, number 2, Infinity War, number 3, Beauty and the Beast. So it's not Filipino films really, but thank God for Vice Ganda, who's saving Philippine cinema. But definitely, I think especially now that Hollywood is bouncing back, and we've seen, a big bump in box office, right? So I hope that means also a big comeback for Philippine cinema. What are the other threats?
What about sorry, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what about the lure of trying to copy K-drama? Is that a threat, a danger?
That's actually a very, very interesting question, because I feel so. There's P-pop, right? Philippine, which is kind of like it started out as a K-pop ripoff. That basically it's like K-pop but with Filipinos. And I think with SB19, with Beanie, there's kind of like been a shift away from that. And what we took from K-pop was amazing choreography, great harmonics, a very rigid training regimen, stuff like that. And I think that's what we should be taking away from K-dramas as well. Right? It's like, it's more long lenses and actual production value, and more use of the dollies, and more naturalistic acting, and better scores, not try to be a K-drama, but kind of get that, get to that level of aesthetics, get to that level of production. And I think that could, from being a threat, then that could be an advantage.
So it's kind of emulating rather than copying the exact copying.
Yes. Mm-mm.
And maybe the opportunity, like you mentioned, Beanie, the opportunity to create a whole universe around IP, around properties. Do you think that's something that could be pursued?
Definitely. I think there's a thing called Comic Cat. There's a lot of comic conventions, a lot of Wattpad, successful, books that are being adapted. And I think, you just need the right universe. Shout out to Avid Longoren, who premiered his animated feature in Annecy.
Zaza.
Yeah, Shasha's
Okay,
Eternal,
so admission before anyone prompts me. He did a crowdfunding thing,
Mm-mm.
and I clicked one of the buttons, and I thought I really like him. I want to support him, and it's been just such a great journey for me because I feel like I've invested something. It was literally $20 or $50 or something, but the film got made.
Yeah.
Thanks to just people who supported it. So that's my contribution to filmmaking. He's amazing. And he sends to everyone who contributed, he sends us digital things, keeps us updated.
So, and it finally happened. And Carlo Vergara, who created Judges of Turna, amazing writer. I think there's something there. Hopefully it happens. But there's so many fantasy writers, that are just kind of hitting that border, and then
They're just creating whole new worlds. I mean, I thought Beanie, that's an ABS-CBN. I thought, right?
It is.
It came out of nowhere for me, but it's really like BTS. She says they're as big as, for the Philippines, obviously not as big as BTS, but I think just that all ticking all entertainment boxes. You've got live, you've got on ground, you've got on screen, on every screen. We're not going to talk about vertical dramas now, but I think that the Philippines is a very big contributor to the vertical drama space, especially with Viva. I think ABS-CBN, I Want also has its own. I'm going to close with your podcast, End Slate. Which it seems like you have unbelievable amount of fun with Mel and Ramon. With all the stuff on your agenda, are you going to keep this going?
Yes, I think End Slate is something that's really more for the soul. I mean, we make podcasts, so we're not we're not really making the big bucks from this thing, right?
But I think it's a way to. I love watching them because A, you seem to be having so much fun. B, you all really know you seem to be really knowledgeable and you're just sharing.
Yes,
and I think that this is it's a perfect space, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think during the pandemic, I kind of made this very conscious decision to. I love cinema. Cinema is it's my favorite word. It's my favorite thing, and so I got really active in Letterboxd, and I would until now I make really essays that are too long. Or 3 people to
okay, that's a note to everyone. Letterboxd, please
Yeah, please follow my Letterboxd. Just Quark. But and Slate is kind of also that, right? We always make it a point to kind of get together and talk about movies, series, the stuff that we love. It's really why we're here, right? I think more than anything, and it's so much fun ranking stuff, talking about your favorite directors. We've been going on for 6 years. I don't think we're gonna stop. We even survived me being in Singapore. So, right.
You've just started. I saw this on Instagram because I spend way too many hours on Instagram. You've just got an Instagram account.
Yes.
And this week.
This week. Mel didn't even tell us. You're why are we on Instagram?
I don't even know how to respond to that. End Slate on Spotify. Yes. I will put all the links in the show notes. Quark, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure as always talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah, always. So amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Please tune into End Slate. It's called End Slate, a movie, TV, and streaming podcast. It's on Spotify, as I said, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. That's it for this episode of Content Asia On Air. Content Asia covers the screen industry across Asia at contentasia.tv. You can also catch my weekly podcast, To the Point with Patrick Frater and Janine Stein. Follow us on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you like this episode, please leave us a review. It really helps us grow. Thank you.